We are live.
Live. Woo,
What is
woo.
up, everybody? I bet there's nobody in here yet. I need to pull up the chat really quick.
Yeah, I know. That's like the only thing about these live streams.
You have to wait till it pulls up before you can pull up the chat.
Right.
All right. I
Let's
think we're
see.
in here now, though. So if you just got here, or if you're rewatching this, whatever the case is, we just finished one on Jared's channel. So for some reason you're not subbed to him, which is very unlikely, go sub to Jared. But otherwise, sub to me. So he has more followers, so I need to catch up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
But
Help Hunter catch up to me.
I need you guys' opinion, because maybe I shouldn't do YouTube. Maybe I should just, since Jared's already got the platform, maybe I'll just film him and edit his videos for him, and
What?
we'll just make more quality content. And then
Nah.
you can fish more. You'll have more time to fish, and I'll just edit and film.
I mean,
What do you think? What do you
I
think
don't
about
know,
that
man.
idea, Jared?
I think you should definitely have your own channel because
Why?
you make different content than I do. It's always slow in the beginning. You can't get discouraged because, like, I mean, heck, it took me 3 years to get 1,500 subscribers. You
I
know what I
know.
mean? I mean,
I
that's
should.
barely any hardly for
I'll get
YouTube.
there faster now because of you.
Hopefully, and then we can help other people get there faster than
Yes,
even
sir.
what you did.
And then on top of
Help.
that, quick plug to our @TakeSomeoneFishing on Instagram and Facebook. We have that account that we run. If you haven't seen that, we just post all kinds of fishing content on it, and we just have a good time and love doing that. So I think we're getting close to 10,000 followers.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter's been doing a good job of posting to Take Someone Fishing account, so he's really the one that kind of has been running that recently. I've been kind of I've not been very active on there, so I need to be
Yeah,
more
well,
active on there. But
you're
we're
going to
closing
law
in on
school, so you're excused.
almost. Yeah, right now we're at 8,228 followers on there, so that's pretty good.
What's up,
And
Turtle
growing every
Maniac?
day.
Turtle Maniac is back. In case you guys didn't see the beginning of Jared's videos, the reason we had these silly looking hats on in the beginning is because we were walking around Walmart last night, and we actually found them on a clearance rack for $2, and we both just looked at each other. We're like, we should make a video with them. So I think what we're going to try to do is we're going to like fish a tournament of some sorts in it when we get a chance, and then whatever the challenge is, the loser's going to have to do something in it. Right now we're thinking maybe go to Walmart and greet people or something in the hat and have the other
Yeah.
one film it. But if you guys have any better ideas, then let us know. If you can think of anything better to do with those hats as the loser of a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, look at these things. Like, aren't these
Even
cool?
you
Two
couldn't see, but
dollars.
they have a little bow on the back of them. How
Two
cute!
dollars. Yeah, we got a boat.
Or maybe it's not a bow; it's a little glitter knot. I don't know.
Yeah, little
But
glitter.
they keep your sun shaded. That's for
That's
sure.
right. We're gonna be professional gardeners. One size fits all. See, look. I mean, we're gonna slay some river smallmouth in these hats.
You know what we're going to slay?
What's that?
If you haven't listened to our, actually, no, I can't say that yet. That's right. So, for the 15 people that are probably going to watch this or watching it right now, we do a podcast, and we've been kind of behind on it. That's our bad, but Elliott and Jared just graduated, and it was finals for all of us, so we got pretty far behind on everything, and we just didn't really have time. But we made one the other night, and we actually have a really big trip coming up, but
Oh
I don't
yeah,
really want to spoil anything or give you any details at all, really. So
big
you'll have to
trip.
listen to the last, like, I think it's like the last 10 minutes of the podcast. It was all the way at the end. But I was going to ask you something about that, but I forgot we hadn't uploaded the podcast yet.
I'll give
So,
you guys a hint. We're going fishing on one of the best lakes in the United States. May not be the
uh,
best time to go, but it's one of the best lakes, and we have the opportunity to catch our personal bests. Easy.
donkeys. Well, Jared has an opportunity. Elliott's personal best is probably a pound, and my personal best for largemouth is 2 pounds, right at 2 pounds. I've never caught one bigger than 2 pounds. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man.
How
We'll
have I
have
not caught a largemouth bigger than 2 pounds?
because you don't go largemouth fishing enough, I guess. But we'll break that this summer. Anyhow, we're gonna break that anyway.
I hope so. I just don't really have, because I don't have a bass boat, so it's really hard for me to just go fishing somewhere there's a big bass. Because like you were talking about, we just talked about on your channel, there's not very many ponds around here, and the ones that are public are pretty pressured, and we just don't really have that many good fisheries for largemouth. And then I can't go fish most of the lakes around here that have decent sized smallies in them
Mhm.
all the time.
Yeah,
So
it's hard to fish around here if you don't have a boat. This is probably one of the. It's really tough to fish around this area if you don't have a boat. I mean, you can fish the river, I guess, but you at least need a kayak to get into any of the good spots.
I don't know.
But
I
that
I
being said,
usually
I've caught
don't
a lot
have
of
a
fish from the bank.
yeah, I don't have a problem usually catching. Most of the time when I go to the lake, I usually catch several largemouth, but most of the time they're right at a pound. I usually don't catch anything big at all. Never even been hooked up on a big one.
That's because the lake that we fish most of the time has got a bunch of small fish. So
I
it's
guess
really
that's
tough.
very true.
Like the lake that we're talking about, literally everybody that fishes it, I mean, uses finesse baits because that's so, some baits are just way too big for these fish because they're so small. I had one guy tell me not too long ago at actually a different lake. He said, "I hate that lake that like the one that's closest to us." He said, "I hate that lake because that's the only lake I can go to where I can catch 5 bass and have a 5 pound limit."
That's so true. And it's just I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, it's
Because
just not that good of a lake.
at most lakes, if you catch 5 bass, you're gonna have at least 8 pounds normally. Because if you catch 5 bass, you're gonna at least accidentally catch one that's over 2.
Right.
I mean,
Most times.
you're yeah, you're gonna accidentally catch one that's over 2 or 3. But I mean, with this lake that we're talking about, it's filled with spotted bass, and those spotted bass haven't really had a lot of time to. I'm not sure when they were introduced there, but they haven't really had a lot of time to get big. And spotted bass in general don't get big, but that lake is just chocked full of spotted bass, and I kind of wish people would start eating them and stuff because I mean I would never really eat them, but if they could get rid of some of those spotted bass, that lake could really have some big smallmouth and some big largemouth, I think. But it gets pressured hard too, so that doesn't help it either.
Does a lake having more species kind of hurt it or no?
I mean, it
Or a
can. I
pond
mean,
or anything?
like the more small spotted bass that are in there, like because these spotted bass, most of them range about 12 inches or so. Like it can really hurt the fishing because they're competing with one another. Like those spotted bass are literally taking food from the smallmouth and the largemouth, which is fun. But I mean, it just really and even with that being said, there's a ton of small spotted bass in this lake, but it's still not really a good numbers lake. It's really not a good numbers lake. I mean, you can catch some, but it's not like okay, Lake Norman, for example, down in North Carolina, it's filled with spotted bass, and it's a numbers lake for sure. You can go down there some days and just slay them, like catch 50 in one day. Um, but this lake is not even like that. Like it has a ton of spotted bass, but none of them are hardly that big. And then uh, there's a ton of them in there, but it's I don't know. I guess it's just pressured so hard that they don't really bite that well. But I mean, yeah, ultimately it can definitely hurt the fishery because like really that lake should be a good smallmouth lake because it's basically it's pretty much like a river lake almost. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a small lake and it's a small big lake, I guess. And it has a lot of good structure for smallmouth like rock and stuff. But I think that those spotted bass just take away a lot of the forage. Like they eat all the forage. So I guess that lowers the amount of big smallmouth, or at least that's what I would guess.
Right. So, not to give too much away, but do you think the trip we're going on are we going to target? We're definitely targeting largemouth, right? Because there's smallmouth in there. A lot of
Yeah,
people catch
yeah, yeah.
smallmouth there too.
Well, there's smallmouth in this lake, but it's not really a smallmouth lake. Like, we're not going there for smallmouth fishing. That would be dumb. Like, we're going there to catch a big
A
largemouth. That's why we're
donkey,
headed
a
there.
slab, a
Yeah, I mean,
mondo.
I'll probably have to get some big swim baits before we go there because I really want to have opportunity to catch a big one.
What about what's it say? Oh, when we were looking everything up, a lot of people it looks like it wasn't too bad for catfish either. So
Yeah.
would you want to like, I guess, bass fish all day or whatever? But do you think it'd be cool to catfish at night too, or would you rather just hang out and
Or,
sleep? Like I was just curious what you're thinking
oh,
on
I
that.
think it'd be worth it to go. I mean, we could definitely go catfishing, but also like this time of year or the time of year that we're going, like I guess it's a little over a month from now, and bass bite really good at night too.
Oh,
So,
that's a good question. I've
like,
seen it was like a year or two ago, you know, I don't remember what I was doing, but I saw somebody had fished a night bass fishing tournament. I was like,
yeah,
"You
they
don't
have those
bass
all
fish
the
at
time.
night?" I was like, "That's stupid.
No,
You catfish at night," and I
no,
couldn't
no.
conceptualize it, and now I know that people do that, but, like,
Some,
you really catch them at night pretty good? Like, is
oh
that
yeah, oh yeah. Like
just doing the same thing you normally do, or you have to
most
fish
okay.
differently?
I would say most tournaments on our local lake here, most of those tournaments in the spring, they're during the day. But once it comes summer, all the tournaments are at night. Like all of them pretty much. And you'll go in there and you'll start fishing around 6 or whatever and then come back around 12 or 11:30. But I mean, the bite the bass bite really good in at night because that's when they basically become nocturnal almost, kind of like deer. Um during at least the bigger fish during the summer. Now, not all of them. You're going to catch big fish in the summer, like fishing deeper and stuff. But again, a lot of them come up like they don't come up shallow to feed really until nighttime or right before dark or early in the morning. So they'll feed all night, especially on these lakes that are really hit hard, like pressured really bad during the day. Oh my gosh, like that! All the fish feed at night because they just, I guess, get intimidated by all the lures that are thrown in front of their faces during the day.
So you just fish for them the exact same way you do during the day? Like, would you throw the
Yeah,
same baits at night that you would during the day?
pretty much. Now top water is like one of the best baits you can use during the night, and
Really?
yeah, yeah, and bass really like at nighttime. They like anything black, like black spinner baits, black buzz baits, black top waters. Just I don't know what it is about that black, but they really love black. But you can also use other colors too, and it works just as good as during the day, if not better, especially during the summer.
Have you ever went? Because I've never went night fishing for bass.
Yeah,
I went
I
catfish
fished a
many
I
times.
fished a couple night tournaments,
How'd you
but I mean
do?
we've caught some, but never really did really like good at one because most of the night fishing tournaments, I guess, where you don't have as much time during them because I guess people have work like the next day and stuff. Um, they will last until like again like the like 6 to 11 or 6 to 12 or so. So I mean that's what 5 hours of fishing. Most of them will just do best of three bass instead of best of five, or a
Hmm.
lot of them will just because you have less time. Because a normal fishing tournament would go from like 6:30 in the morning to 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and that's uh, a good bit more time to fish, an extra 3 hours or so.
Is it not hard to see?
Yeah, that's one of the things that's tough about it. A lot of people will use like black lights and stuff because the fish can't really see the black light, and they'll like shine them up against the bank. But it can be tough to see. But like if you know the fishery really well, then you can just slay them because you know where you're throwing and everything. So
So do you think you'd rather catfish, hang out, or bass fish? Or like do them in a certain, or you do all three, or what do you think? What do you think would be more fun to you?
I don't know, but it's starting to rain here. Hold up a second. Um, I think for me, like I think for me, I would rather hold up a second. I'm probably gonna have to move. It's raining.
Yeah, I see
I
it in
think
the shirt.
I think for me, it would be more fun to probably bass fish, but I mean, if we're just hanging out and stuff, like catfishing will be all right too.
Or so that's what you would
Like
do.
I think we'd have better chances of catching bass at night than we would catfish because I don't really know a whole lot about catfishing on big lakes,
Right.
so that's just because of that reason. But also, I mean, and also catfishing's kind of hard to do out of a bass boat.
Yeah, I guess you got a good point.
But
I don't know. We'll
yeah,
have
I
to
mean, if you
see.
just wanted to hang out and toss out rods and stuff, like you could definitely catfish. But again, I don't really know what kind of structure and stuff they like. I mean, I guess most of the catfish would come shallow at night too to feed.
Yeah, but that's going to be really fun. But make sure you guys tune in if you're watching this to the next episode of the podcast, which should be this Sunday. We should be starting it back now that we all have more time. We might actually have the one after this be another video podcast because we might be able to hang out some this week because we're all freed up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And then as far as that trip goes, once the podcast comes out and you kind of know about it, you'll definitely get. I can't tell you how much we're going to have that entire, however long it is. I don't want to really disclose too much. I don't know, just kind of to hype it up. But we're definitely going to film so much of it and hopefully have just a crazy amount of content and be really good quality too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be a really fun trip. Um, I think that I mean it's not gonna be easy. I don't think catching bass on that lake because I mean we've never been there before. But I'm gonna do my research, and especially as it gets closer, probably I won't have a lot of time here in the next week or so to do any research. But as it gets closer, I'm gonna do some more research on that lake and try to get everything ready. And we should be able to catch some. I mean, it's a really good lake, so.
Yeah, I hope we do. But we've been rolling for a little over 15 minutes now, I believe, and we're not really getting any questions. But it's to be expected, I guess, because I don't have that many subs.
We've kind of done these out of the blue anyway. So I mean, I think they'll start to get more and more traction on these live streams. But again, like what I was saying on my channel is this is just a good way for you guys to interact with Hunter and asking questions, and you can interact in a way that you never could in a normal video. So I think they're beneficial, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I like them a lot, and it's also just an easy way for us to get more content out. Because if you've looked at, say, the 10 or 5 live streams we've already done, the like amount of information you could just learn from watching those. Because we've
Yeah,
got like all the stuff you've talked about, and people ask you questions, and I mean, I can't answer too many of them like you can because you're just a lot more experienced, a lot better at fishing. But somebody will ask a question, and you go back, you could learn a lot just from watching a live stream and seeing that Bobby asked you, saying he wasn't getting any bites in really clear water, and you explained to him, what he could try.
right. Yeah, and I think that it's a good way for us to share our knowledge with you all because, like, the guy that was asking questions in my live stream was like, I think he might be in here right now. I don't know, but the person who was asking it was from like Canada, and I've never been to Canada, and it's a good way for you all to connect with us, and we can immediately answer your questions like that, and you can kind of get a whole new perspective on where you fish. So, like around here specifically, some of the pros that win these tournaments, like there's pros from Florida who have done nothing but largemouth fish all their lives and just fish grass, but they win these tournaments on these big, clear, open lakes for smallmouth up north. And it's because they have a lot different perspective on the lake and they kind of go in with an open mind rather than going in and only throwing the baits that you've done well on your local lake or what other people throw in your local lake. But oftentimes, switching things up, coming in with a new perspective, you can catch a lot more fish because it's. I mean, like if I were to go up to Canada right now, there's a good chance that on that body of water that he was talking about, there may be a good chance that I don't catch anything because I don't know what I'm doing. But I'd also come in with just a brand new perspective where I might do really good because the fish have seen baits that they're not used to. Because especially around here too, like there's lakes around here that, especially South Holston Lake, that lake people throw like the same baits. Like there's probably 5 baits that people throw on that lake, and one of them's like a swim bait, another one's like a little green finesse worm, and the fish are seeing the same baits. I mean, you got to think about it. Even if you're a fish and you just have like a brain or a pea-sized brain, you're still smart enough to realize like, hey, last time I bit that, like I got hooked and I got pulled out of the water, so I'm probably not gonna bite that again. You know what I mean?
Right.
And fish are smart enough to know what is okay. I guess they get used to they know. So I guess it's like they get rewarded when they eat something that is real, but when they eat something that's not real, like a lure, they realize like, oh, that's not real, so I'm not going to eat that again. Like I don't know. At least I think that they think that way. I don't know. I'd probably have to talk to a biologist or something, but I think fish are stupid, but I don't think they're that stupid.
Right.
So coming in with a new perspective can really help a lot.
Yeah.
And just hearing just hearing about how people fish in California could help you fish around this area, because again, you just like don't think about people around here don't really think about things like they did. Like for example, those guys out in California throw big swim baits a lot. And then ever since like Tactical Bass and YouTube channel came out and they throw big swim baits a lot, people are starting to use more and more swim baits that are huge on their local lakes. And 10 years ago, people would have been like, you're crazy for throwing that bait on this lake. But then now, like, it's so widespread that people are catching fish in their lakes that they didn't even know were in their lakes because they had never saw those big swim baits.
Yeah, so that's just why we like doing these live streams. We also just like to be more personal and connect with you guys. But I think that's about going to do it for this live stream. You got anything else to say, Jared?
I do not. Nope.
But if for some reason you guys haven't, like I said in the beginning, it's very unlikely. Make sure you go check Jared out because
Thank you.
he is the man. He is the fishing guru. That's what he's going to be called about 5 years from now. Everybody don't know it. But we hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Make sure you tune in. Turn on your post notifications if you haven't, because we'll be doing these. Try to do them weekly, one on each account. And then we also post regularly. I think we both try to do anywhere from 2 to 3 videos a week. We also have a podcast as well. So just make sure that you support us. Go try to follow everything you can. And I think that'll about do it for this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, make sure you guys take someone outdoors. And if nobody told you today, I love you, stay blessed, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.